$110, then that's enough for me to leave, and I'll just leave because I don't like being out here. You know, it's for one thing, it's demeaning. I've always worked for everything I had, and now I'm depending on people to roll the windows down and give it to me.
Okay, so here we are in Columbia, Maryland. What's your name?
Greg.
Greg? Greg, are you homeless?
Yes, I am.
How long you been homeless for?
Since 2017.
Since 2017. So how many years total?
It's 4 years now.
4 years now?
Yep. This month will be 4 years.
This month will be 4 years. So tell me your story. How did you get homeless?
Well, I was driving for Lyft, and I went to a motel because I worked like 18 hours, and I rented a room in a motel because I was living in Frederick, Maryland. I came down to Baltimore City because there's more money down here. And when I woke up the next morning at the motel, my leg was paralyzed. So I had to get a laundry cart to get to my car. And when I got to the car, I went ahead. I didn't know what it was because I just recently had a knee replacement done. And I figured it would go away or something, you know. But after 4 or 5 days stuck in the car, I went to the hospital, and they had told me before at Johns Hopkins I had an infection in my leg, and they had to do operations to get it out, and I never paid no attention to it because I figured it would go away. But after 34 days in the hospital and the nursing home, I woke up one morning and was able to walk again. But from being in the hospital, I got behind on my car payment and my rent and everything. So when I walked out of the hospital, I was homeless. You know, I didn't have nowhere to go. So
It's okay.
I slept in my car, and about 3 weeks later, again, I'd rented another motel room to get a bath and everything. You know, I mean, I rented one before that. Don't get me wrong. I didn't go without bathing for 3 weeks. But this time when I rented a motel room, I woke up the next morning, I was paralyzed again. So I went back to the hospital. I went to St. Agnes this time, and they told me the same thing the doctors told me at Johns Hopkins. I had to have operations, and they couldn't guarantee they'd get the infection out. So if they couldn't get it out, I would end up getting it amputated at the hip. So I told them to go ahead and cut it off now because I didn't want to take the chance. And I've been out here. I've been homeless ever since, and I can't seem to get. I rent rooms from people, the wrong people, because they're always on drugs or something like that. But you know, everybody won't take somebody in, so I rent rooms from here and there. And when the money's gone, they want you to leave or give more money, and you know. So now I just go day by day, and hopefully I'll get enough money to rent a motel room. If not, then I gotta wheel around all night, find some place to sleep. Hopefully it don't rain, you know, ain't too cold or nothing. But it's really hard. My mother tries to help, but her husband, he's a recovering addict, and you know, with my history and stuff like that, I don't want to go around him too much and you know, jeopardize what she's got because they're both up in age, and I don't want to, you know, because I mean I got drug history. It goes hand in hand out here because I can't get to the doctors to get my pain medication and stuff like that. So when I'm hurting, you know, I get something to help me with the pain. But you know, it's kind of rough out here. I've been robbed. I've been beat with a stick just recently. Last month I was up in Baltimore City waiting on a bus, and a guy came up from behind me and hit me with a stick and ended up in the hospital for 2 more weeks. Then they stuck me in a nursing home on the 2nd floor, no phone, no way to contact anybody, let them know where I was at. You know, so I couldn't stay there, so I left, you know, because I couldn't worry my mother to death. You know, she's up in age, and I don't like to worry her. She worries enough about me. But, you know, I mean, I'm just hoping for that miracle to come along.
So how is it means getting around? You know, I know it's hard enough for you being in the wheelchair to get around.
Yeah, I got a couple guys that work for a company called Ride Taxi out here, and they work with me. You know, if I need a ride somewhere or something like that, and I ain't got the money to pay them, you know, they'll let me pay them later on, you know, and stuff like that. And I try not to owe them, but, you know, sometimes I do, but I always pay them. So, you know, they've helped me out a lot. You know, they take me back and forth to the motel room. They pick me up and bring me out here because I can't come up, you know, 175 in a wheelchair. Especially now because I'm doing it one-handed, you know. So they pick me up and they work with me as far as the money and stuff goes. And they give me breaks. Sometimes they don't charge me nothing. You know, it depends on how their day's going. You know, they're real nice guys. But if it wasn't for them, sometimes I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I've had one driver that lent me money to get the motel room before. Mm-hmm. You know, and his name was Zeke, but he's got a family to support, so you know I can't. You know, I gotta come up and pay him when I can pay him. You know, and hopefully I can pay him every day because I don't like asking nobody for nothing. You know, I've always paid my way. I always worked and everything until.
Take your time.
It's just hard because I shouldn't have lost my leg. If they would have operated with it when I needed it, I would have never lost it. I mean, I needed a complete knee replacement when I was 16 years old, but nobody would do it. They waited till I was 43 and it was infected. From all the cortisone shots and the steroids, and, you know, this shot and new stuff they come out putting sponges in between the knee, and you know, and nothing ever worked. And if they would have done the operation instead of going by protocol, you know, waiting until you're in your 40s to do it, I would have never lost my leg.
How much money can you think you usually make during the week?
I just stay out here for a couple of hours, just enough money to get money to eat on, cigarettes, and cab fare. You know, if I make $100, $110, then that's enough for me to leave, and I just leave because I don't like being out here. You know, it's for one thing, it's demeaning. I've always worked for everything I had, and now I'm depending on people to roll the windows down and give it to me. You know, I hate going to asking for help because I've always helped myself. I know everybody keeps telling me to go to grassroots, go here, go there. You know, they don't understand how hard it is to get around in a wheelchair. You know, and then when you go over there, you sit over there for nothing. You know? I mean, some people get help, some people don't. Well, I go over there, I need help now, not 2 weeks from now. You know? I need to make the money to get through the day, not, you know, I don't make enough money out here to go over there and sit for 2 or 3 days at a time, you know, or whatever you got to do to get everything done. And then when I get admitted to the hospital, they'll take me there, and they always send me to the same nursing home, which is in the city, and it's I wouldn't even send my dog there, you know. They don't treat people the way they should treat them. They, you know, they cuss at the patients. They do everything. You know, you know, I don't know. I can't handle that. So I always end up leaving the nursing home. You know.
Do you have other family other than your mother in town?
My oldest brother just died last Father's Day, and my youngest brother, he's with my ex-wife, so I can't go there. You know, and you know, it's just a Jerry Springer thing with my family. The only person I can really count on is my mother. But she's 70 years old, and she just had her shoulders operated on. She just had her hips done 3-4 years ago, and now she had her shoulders done. She can't drive right now, so she lives all the way out in Pasadena, and it cost me $60 to get round trip to go out there to see her in a cab. You know, to get from the motel to Pasadena back to the motel. So I just, you know, I very seldom get to see my mother. And then I got robbed. And they took my phone and everything. I can't even call her. I just get upset talking about this. For 40 years, I always had nice stuff. I always had what I needed. You know, I mean, I had my history with the drugs and everything going up because I broke my back a couple times, got on the pain meds, and, you know, and one thing leads to another. But, you know, I've always worked and had everything I needed, and I've always been able to help people. Now I'm out here trying to get help. I can't. It's, I don't know. My pride gets in the way, I guess.
What do you do to try to keep yourself up? I know it's been really, really hard for you. I can't even imagine what you've been through these past 4 years. But what do you do to try to keep yourself positive?
Believe it or not, on that medium strip over there, I'm in peace. I'm in peace on there because out here, people treat you with respect. That's why I came out here instead of Baltimore City, where they throw bottles of water at you, you know, and say all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I even had people tell me I got my leg cut off so I can panhandle and make money. You know, well, if that's the reason you get your leg cut off, you know, you're sorry. I'd give anything to have my leg back.
What does your sign say?
Trying to get money for a motel room. That's what I live for now. Thank God I ain't got no kids. For some reason, he never let me have it. I always was with women that had kids, you know. I don't know. It's hard.
Where do you want to see yourself for the next couple of years?
In my own apartment.
In your own apartment?
It ain't much. Just my own apartment. Where I don't have to worry about everything. I don't have to worry about a place to lay my head. You know, when I'm gonna get my next bath. You know. I would love to get be able to be on my prosthetic and be able to walk, but I'm having problems with this leg now, and it's from being in the wheelchair. I've lost a lot of strength in it, and I can't stand up straight. So I got to get the strength back in this leg before I can even think about walking on a prosthetic. And it's just so hard.
Do you know of any shelters that could possibly take you in or places?
No, they keep telling me to go over here to Grassroots and they'll put me in a motel room and stuff like that. But then people tell me it takes a couple weeks to do it, and, you know. And then the lady from Grassroots wants to know where I'm sleeping at now, and you know, I talked to her and I told her, I said, you know, I try to make enough money for the motel, and if I don't make enough money, then they want me to take them to where I sleep at. Well, you know, pick a spot, you know, wherever I can make it to, you know, without the police chasing me away.
How do the police treat you?
Oh, the police are nice out here. I mean, since I've been in the wheelchair, thank God I haven't had any problems with the law since 2004. You know, I haven't been in trouble, haven't had no court dates, no nothing since 2004. You know, but with the exception of one time, I had a paraphernalia charge, I had to pay a fine, and you know, but other than that, you know, I've been out of the legal system since 2004. You know, and that's saying a lot for me, from a guy that's been to prison 5 times. You know, but you know, I tried to straighten my life up, and then 2013-14, I had the knee replacement. Then 2017, I ended up getting it cut off. Or 2014-15, I had the knee replacement. In 2017, I ended up getting it amputated.
Are you from here? Are you from Baltimore?
I'm from Baltimore City.
From Baltimore City?
Yeah, but it's so peaceful out here. So peaceful out here. Somebody brought me out here in a truck one time, and I just never went back to Baltimore because I always liked, and I lived in North Carolina. I had, a 40-acre farm in North Carolina, and I loved it, but then me and my wife got a divorce, so, I broke my back and I relapsed, and it was my fault. She's a good woman, but I didn't want to, me and her both, we didn't want me to bring my problems around the kids, so I left and came back to Baltimore. But if I had to do all over again, I'd just lay there in pain and get over it. I would have never left.
I know it may be hard to kind of imagine right now being in your circumstance, but I truly believe things are going to get much better for you in your future.
I hope. I pray every day.
I'm going to do my best to try to help you out. I just want to let you know that. And I want to say thank you for telling me your story. I didn't really know that. I knew people have it hard out here, but like telling me your story now, it just changed my perspectives on things, and I'm really going to try to do my best to help out your situation. So, Greg, I just want to say thank you for giving me your time.
No
for telling me your story, man.
Sometimes I need to get it off my chest because I let it build up and build up.
Yeah, I know.
And I ain't got nobody to talk to. But, I just get emotional.
That's good. It's good. It's good to let it out. It's very important, to let it out. And I'm glad, I was be able to hear your story. You've been seen and you've been heard, Greg.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get your story out, man.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this, what you're doing, because a lot of people, the homeless people is just like the bottom of the barrel, I mean, and that's one thing about Columbia. I can say the people out here that give you stuff, they care, I mean, I was out here in the rain one day and a guy pulled up in a pickup truck and he asked me how much money I needed to get out of the rain. And, I told him. He reached in his pocket and gave me $140 to go get a motel room to get out of the rain. I was only here for 5 minutes. That's the type of people out here. In Baltimore City, it would take me 3 days to get that kind of money. I mean, long days, not, That's the people out here, I honestly believe it's a different type of people out here. I mean, Baltimore City's got its own thing going on with the drugs and the guns and this and that, but it's so peaceful out here, it is. It reminds me of North Carolina a lot.
All right, thank you once again, man.
All right, thank you.